Good morning and welcome to PSJA Java Chat, your morning chat with your favorite PSJA ISD Instructional Technology Integration Specialist, where we discuss EdTech tools and trends with invited guests and, of course, our morning coffee. Welcome back to PSJA Java Chat. In Episode 8, join us as we chat with Maria Suarez, a techie-savvy educator who seamlessly integrates technology for meaningful student engagement. Explore how she created a vibrant tech zone through a Donors Choose project. Now get ready to be inspired over coffee. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our first Java Chat for 2024. Today here we have Ms. Maria Suarez from Arlo Elementary. She has been our December Innovator of the Month, and we're going to be conversing with her about her technology integration and everything that she has to share with you that she uses in the classroom. Hi, Ms. Suarez. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning. Nice and early here.
I know. How many times do you snooze? So let's start with the first question. We just wanted to share a little bit about your educational background and experience. Like, where have you taught? How long have you been teaching? Basically, everything, your background. How did you started with education?
Okay, I've been teaching 39 years. This is my 39th year. So I'm already past retirement.
Yay!
I
That's
actually
exciting.
started as a third grade teacher at Carnahan Elementary, when we had Carnahan Elementary. And I was there for all those years that it was open until they closed it. And then they moved us over here to Arnold Elementary about maybe 11 years ago. So all our staff moved over here with, I think, Napper staff. So that's what all my years were. And when I was at Carnahan, I started in third grade. And there was a couple of years there that they switched Carnahan to pre-K second. So I had to go down, make a choice, either move to another school or stay there and get my kinder endorsement and do kinder. So I moved from third grade to kindergarten, stayed there for about maybe 15, 18 years. Then I did first grade. Then I did second grade, and I actually got moved during COVID. The year that we shut down in COVID, the administration here at Arnold moved me from second grade to third grade. You know, I pleaded and kicked and screamed, and
You didn't want to go back to third grade.
no, I didn't want to. It's not because of the testing. I just was comfortable in second grade. You know, I felt comfortable. But I moved and I love third grade. I love it. I love the challenge of the testing. The kids are good. You know, they're more mature than kindergarten and all that. And there's a difference. In second grade, we focus more on the comprehension and the stories and that, you know, and in the lower levels, it's more about getting them to read and the fluency and all that kind of thing. So, and they're very independent in third grade, you know, very independent. I like it that, you know, I don't have to be there all the time for them, very needy. I'm still here, but it's different.
Thank you for
Yes.
sharing.
Yes.
Wow, that's a very immense repertoire. I'm taken aback. I'm so proud of you.
Yes. And then what happened also is, like, when a couple of years before COVID, I went back to do get my master's in reading and literacy. So, and everybody would say, well, what do you want to get at? You're close to retirement. But it was just a goal that I had for myself. I wanted to do that. So I went back and got my master's. At the same time, I was doing adult GED classes at night. So I was teaching during the day, teaching adult classes 3 nights of the week, and going for my master's. So I did it all in those 2 years. So yes.
Wow.
So
I
that was
applaud
a
you.
challenge.
Very impressive. And you have
Very
me beat by a
impressive.
few years, and that's awesome.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Thank
Did you
you.
feel like you work better under a lot of stress and a lot of things happening at the same time?
Sometimes I think I'm ADHD. I'm very hyper. I'm always having to do things. I can't sit still very long, you know, so I have to be doing things.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I can relate.
Thanks for sharing your experience with us, Ms. Flores. Nice to meet you, by the way.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. And kind of going on to the next question, as we kind of get a little bit more into, I guess, what part of this meeting is about is technology, right? So I want to ask you, how did you get into using instructional technology in the classroom?
Well, I know when I first went back to school, one of the things I had was that when I went back to college, people started talking about Blackboard and, you got to upload and all that kind of stuff. And it kind of scared me because when I first went to college, it was not like that. It was all about books and going to the library and things and that or whatever, right? So I learned and everybody took me under their wing, because I was an older student. And so they helped me through it. And then I realized that technology was going to be taking over in the classroom also. So I started, trying to be more comfortable with it myself, asking around the school, that everybody was more tech savvy and things like that. And as far as my classroom was concerned, I started going into it was back then when we only had the cow that we had to reserve in the library and then put it in our room and whatever, right? So every Wednesday afternoon, I would block a certain amount of time, so I would reserve the cow and bring it into the classroom and have my students work with the computer, because at the same time I was learning and they were learning. And that's when it was back then when I was doing PowerPoint and, you know, PowerPoint presentations, the kids would do research and whatever. And then we got into the Google Classroom, and that's when COVID hit. And I was lucky that my students were already um like introduced to that and whatever. So it wasn't scary for me. So then we had Google Classroom, we had Class Dojo. So it was a good transition. And what happened was that I had the second graders at that time, and they became my third graders the following year. So I had them for
Oh.
2 years. So the transition was easy, from going from second grade to third grade because I had my class. And then it was easy with the COVID because it was just the kids already were doing it in the classroom. So it wasn't as difficult, to integrate. So that's how I got
Wow.
into technology. Yeah.
Wow, that is
Wow,
refreshing.
that was good. That was great that you took initiative to kind of on your own learn how to
Yes.
use the devices that are in the cows, and that it
Yes.
really sounded like from what you just told us that it helped out during that COVID year. So that's awesome.
And it's funny because when people would laugh, they laugh at you when you're older and you don't know how to do stuff or whatever. But it's funny, but you just have to get in there and do it. So
Exactly.
I love that because I have 35 years in the district, like you have 39, and you just
mhm.
can't be afraid to try it. And I
Right,
love that
right.
you're a technology pioneer.
Yes, I also
From
had
the
another colleague, Miss Lopez, when we worked together in second grade, and then in third grade we got moved together. So we would work together, like creating slides and our presentations or whatever for during COVID and all that, and getting the parents on board. It was a learning experience, but it happened to threw everybody's into technology at that time. So it wasn't just myself. Everybody had to learn how to navigate. So it was an experience.
And we're glad that you're continuing to use that after that, that time's over now and we're back in the classroom
Yes.
and, you've continued. I know Valentine and I were in your classroom and you shared your tech space with us. So that's our
Yes.
next question is for you to share some of your, how you came about getting that tech space, how you use it with the students, and then any other kind of technology tools that you use in your classroom.
Okay, the way I got into the tech space was I do a lot of donors choose projects. And I'm always looking for something to motivate the students to come to school and to because like they say attendance matters. Well, actually, I think it was last year, uh, I had the best attendance in third grade. Every single 6 weeks, our class would win the attendance because the kids were here every day. And I'm trying to build a classroom that has a good environment that they want to be here. And I'm very structured, I'm very like we have to have things a certain way, the way we set up the breakfast, the way, we do things in the classroom. But I feel as students need to have that structure. They need to know what's going to happen every day. And then I try to integrate little things like little activities and whatever. So the donors choose, I have several projects that I've done, and I decided like those little keyboards that have those little pop keys, the retro keyboards, they're
Mhm.
kind of interesting and the kids like it and they had seen other teachers have them. So I thought it was a neat idea to do a donors choose. And first I got the Chromebooks, and then I did another uh donors choose to get the risers and the headphones and the mouse pads and things like that. And then the retro keyboard. So it was really neat. And we set it up and the kids like, oh wow. And basically, it was because we were going to be doing the responses, the ECRs, the SERs. So I said, what a fun way to just play at the keyboards but they're going to be doing their work. So that's how I got into doing the tech space. And I know I had a student teacher that would do Starbucks mode, and she would turn off the lights and the kids would select a place to work and whatever. And I thought it was really cute to have the Starbucks mode, and they would say, "What's Starbucks mode?" Is it where some people go to Starbucks to study and they drink their coffee or their drink or whatever, and they just relax. So we have to have a mode, So that's how I got the little tech space.
That is
Yeah.
so cute.
Yeah.
You just
So
move with the times.
yes.
Wow.
So
That
yes,
I
that's
never
what
heard
we've
of
done.
before. So did she
Yes,
come up with that? You're a student teacher, the Starbucks mode, or did she see it somewhere else?
I think she had seen it like on social media and whatever, because
Uh-huh.
she's younger and
Uh-huh.
she
And
does a
TikTok?
lot of yeah, she does a lot of social media. So she would say, okay, she had the initiative of like doing things in the classroom, So she said, let's do the Starbucks mode. So she would get the kids into doing Starbucks mode like for whatever we were doing, and they would take their laptops to the area, have some carpet area, rugs, and they would go sit down and they would be in their own little zone, whatever. So that was really cute. So that's where I got, like, this year when I had my own classroom. Well, again, and she moved into her own classroom. She's actually next door to me.
Oh, she's a teacher now.
Yeah, she's a teacher now. She got hired. The teacher that was next door to me retired, and it so happened that we were able to hire her next door to me in 3rd grade. So it's a
Nice.
plus. Yes. So that's what I decided to do. Well, the kids enjoyed the zone. So now we have that little zone in our classroom, Yeah. So it was neat.
Well, that speaks also a lot about yourself. Like she felt comfortable of sharing with you and being able
Yes.
to take initiative of creating that
Yes.
zone. That's
Yes.
that kudos.
And I told her that it has to do with, like, making the kids feel like they want to come. What are you
Yeah.
going to do to make them want to come to school? Why would they want to be in your classroom? Create an environment that's inviting and the kids want to be there. I want to be here. I have to be here every day. So I want to make it comfortable,
I want to make it
So
fun.
yes, I want to be here. I want to be comfortable in my classroom or whatever. So the kids, it rubs off on the kids. They get that effect from you. How you feel is how they come. And I tell them, we have to be here every day. They're with us like 7, 8 hours. So it's got to be a good, comfortable classroom. I've always, liked that to give them a reason to come. So we're always looking to like our attendance. This week we had yesterday we had a 100% in the class. The day before we had 100%. As soon as the parents the kids are not coming in, I dojo the parents, and the parents are very good. Oh, we're on our way, So that's a really good thing, So we're working on keeping our attendance up there.
Yeah, beyond that, I'm like, I remember what Debbie was talking about when we were visiting your classroom, and you're teaching them so much with the section with your plants and everything.
Yes.
I'm like, I was very happy in your classroom. Like,
Yes.
it just being there, I felt comfortable. If I was comfortable, Debbie was comfortable. I'm sure the
Yes.
kids just are like at home.
And
But
they take ownership for the classroom, because now they have that plant area by the windows. I have big, beautiful windows, and I like the blinds open completely. And I tell them that I enjoy the sunshine, the clouds floating by, the trees, moving in the wind. And so I get that, and they say, oh yeah. So now the kids are like, involved with the plants, and they look at the succulents and they know the difference. And so that's another, I feel it's relaxing. It's a relaxing atmosphere. So it
iPhone
goes, and
man.
it also goes with our sustainability goals that we have
Mhm.
with the district. So it's a nice little zen area also right there with the plants and whatever. So, and they take care of them. They help me. Do you want me to water them? And they see when the leaves are drying. Why are they drying? Things like that. So it's really cool. It's a really
Very
cool thing.
cool.
Yeah.
So besides the little tech zone, is there any other activity involving technology that you've done with your students that will be like your favorite?
Well, I try to incorporate the technology on a daily basis, and it's helped me a lot because, like, when I have a sub, I upload all the lessons on Google Classroom, and because I do notebooks with them, the kids
Mhm.
already know, like if I'm going to be out, like I was doing TPR testing on Monday,
Mhm.
so they said, "Oh, we're going to do our anchor charts." They already know. Yes, I said you're going to do your phonics, because I still do phonics in 3rd grade, because I incorporate phonics with spelling, grammar, and then we do our math, and all our charts are on there. So they already know, they're used to that routine, like that I'm going to put the charts on Google Classroom, and they're going to put them on their own notebooks. So I use Google Classroom for that. I also use on TPT, there's easel So there's
Okay.
activities also, so that I
Mhm.
incorporate that. I teach them how to create their own Google Slides, and I give them a choice. Do you want to do the spelling on paper pencil, or do you want to do Google?
Oh,
And they
cool.
say, no, we want to do Google. So and I ask them, do you want me to put a slide for you, or do you want to create your own? And they let me know what they want. And they'll put, like, let's say we're doing our vocabulary, and they'll insert pictures for that. Instead of just doing a definition, they incorporate pictures, or they look at videos. If we're studying something, I upload videos or stories having to do whatever we're learning, whether it's social studies or science or whatever, because they learn a lot from videos that keeps them motivated, that keeps them interacted, you know. So I do videos, storybooks, songs. We do songs. And that one of the things that I did also, one of my favorite projects, technology project, is they create their own Google Classroom having to do with, a Google slide presentation having to do with personal financial literacy.
Oh,
So that
nice.
was yeah. So I tell them, okay, I'm going to do a donors choose, and I'm going to order some little piggy banks. So you get a piggy bank, like a little jar to save your money. So they have to research something they would like to buy. How much does it cost? Where can they get it? And then they have to go home and talk to their parents. How can they make extra money to get whatever it is they want to buy? So then they have to talk to their parents. They have to come back. All that information, they type it into their presentation, and they keep track of it. I went home, I talked to my parents, I'm going to do this. And they said I could make money by helping my grandma do more chores, or doing extra chores, or helping my neighbor, whatever. So all this, there's a lot of discussion going on. So then they have to present their presentation, their slide presentation, and then they do everything, complete the goals and everything. They get to keep the jar, and they have their money, and they bring their money, they put it in there, and they discuss about what was good, what was not so good, because some of them will say, well, my mom says that I should not do I already do my chores for my allowance, so you have to go above and beyond. So it was a really good experience. So I've already done it 2 years in a row with the kids, doing incorporating technology. They have to make a presentation. They involve their
Nice.
parents, and then we do the donors choose, where we get our little jars, and they get to keep learn how to save money, and they learn about instant gratification, or I have to save for long term, things like that. So it's a fascinating activity that we do in the classroom.
That's very well-rounded activity. Like
Yes.
it's a very well-rounded activity. I would love to come see it.
Yes.
If you will invite us over
Oh,
when
yes.
they do the
Yes.
presentations, I would
Mm-hmm.
love to see it.
Yeah,
Thank
I like
you.
how you're teaching that content at such a young age, because I taught at the high school and I taught that but to 12th graders, and your idea is better than anything I created with my senior students. So
Yeah.
I would also like to see, if possible, whenever you do that
Yes.
activity.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and I know, like, last year when I had my student teacher, what she did is she would open a little store, and she made little fake dollar bills or whatever, and they had jobs, and then she would pay them, and she had a payday, and then she opened a little store, and then the kids would come and buy little trinkets, or it was actually little pets, desk pets that she had, and then they would buy things for their desk pet, like a little book or something like that. So it was really cute. She's a good teacher, Miss Ansaldua. She has a lot of new ideas, and she's not afraid to try them, because she's young. And I always tell her, don't lose the passion for teaching. Don't listen to whatever's going on around about, oh, it's so hard, oh, I have to get out of here, or whatever. I said, it is what you make it, and that's it, and the kids will respond to your energy. And I always tell her, you have to create that positive energy, because you have to be here with them, and they can feel it. So if they feel it from you, if you feel it and it's genuine, they're going to feel it,
Yeah.
and it's going to be okay. Don't worry
Mhm.
about the stress about testing. It's going to happen. We're going to get it done, you know.
Yeah,
Yesterday,
perfect.
one of our teachers at Kelly Farr was doing a presentation for the SLA verbs for third, fourth, and fifth. And then we started talking, and she has also like a digital literacy bank, but it's digital. Like the
Mhm.
students go in there and do their addition and subtractions in the program. So that will
That's
be
cool.
something I'm gonna learn from her, and maybe I can share it with you so you
Oh,
can
that'd
see
be
it and
cool.
share it with them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So it's I enjoy the classroom. I really, really do, So, and I always like to set up my bulletin boards also on a monthly basis. I know it takes time, but I think it shows off their work. It gives them pride, and it shows that school is not just about paper pencil. It's about other things, like we incorporated a grandparents' day. We just did a kindness because we're doing kindness this week. So we did a kindness donut, and then it's going to be the 100 days. So I put their face on I found a website called FestiSite, and that you can put their photo into the $100 bill. So I did that, and
that's
it looks,
cool.
yeah, it looks really cool. So each of them was going to have their $100 bill with their face in it. So that's technology,
Yeah.
That
you
is
look at,
awesome.
yeah, because that's the thing about technology. You can find so many things online, and you have to also teach them that some things might be good, some things might not be good. You have to be careful about what's out there, and things like that. And they'll say, how did you get that? And I tell them, well, I found a website and I decided that it would be really cool to put your face on it, whatever. So I put up the board and it says 100 days. I've had my wonderful kids for 100 days,
Oh,
and
that
they're
is so
all around.
cute.
So yeah, it is. It's really cool.
Yeah. What a great activity. Or like what a great concept.
Yeah.
Um, so Miss Suarez, still sticking with technology, but kind of shifting gears a little bit,
Hmm.
away from school, away from using technology for your, everyday job here at PSJ. When it comes to your personal time, how has technology changed or evolved in the way that you use it when you're not here at school?
Well, believe it or not, I'm not on any social media at all. I'm one of those that I don't have any social media. So the only thing I really do like to go into the computer. I'm a reader. I love to read, and I'd rather have the book, the physical
Mhm.
book, than read online. But I do like to go online to see all the ideas people get, like the teachers on TikTok and on Pinterest and things like that, or they suggest different things. So I think that's how I use technology. I use it a lot for my classroom, for my personal life. I love organizing and decluttering and things like that. So that's the kind of thing that I like. So technology for me in my personal time is more like, to look and see what's out there. What can I use? What can I use to make my life a little better? You know, but
Yeah.
and like I say, I always have to be careful, like what's out there, because sometimes there's not a lot of good stuff, whatever. But yeah, that's what I find for myself. I like to look and see. I know my husband finds a lot more things about cooking. He's into cooking. I'm not into cooking. I'm more into cleaning. I can do the cleaning as long as you do the cooking. But
Oh my God, that sounds perfect.
I'm glad
yes.
that you brought up the TikTok, because when I go to a lot of campuses and talk to a lot of teachers, I'm like, how did you get this idea? And everybody says, if you want to learn something new, go on to TikTok. So like
Yes.
that's the big thing right now.
Yes. I actually have a TikTok banner outside of my classroom, and the kids were like, "Why do you have that TikTok banner?" And I said, "Because if you want to make a TikTok, you're right in front of the TikTok banner." And it's just a way to let them know that it's out there, and it could be a good thing if you make it a good thing, yeah, a positive thing. It doesn't have to be negative. So I have it out there, and I said I'm going to take the pictures of the students behind in front of the banner, so they can have their own TikTok thing. So it's just a cool thing. You gotta be stay up with the kids. I can't say, oh, I don't like TikTok. I mean, I like it because there's a lot, and I tell them I like it, but I also have to scroll when there's not something that I don't like. So
Mhm,
they
Mhm.
understand that.
mhm.
Yes.
And you can always do like a fake TikTok. You have that picture and then you go into Canva or, have them create a little video, and it's like a TikTok to them.
Right.
So
Mhm.
it's
And
great
flip?
that, you're keeping up with the times and you're
Yes.
relating to the students of what's out there today. And
Yes.
I love that you're so insightful and positive, about education, because there is a lot of, negativity sometimes, but you see the
Yes.
good, and I think that's awesome. So do you have any other advice? I know you've given some advice already today, and you've given a lot to your student teacher, so she
Mhm.
has a great role model to live up to, and
Yes.
I'm sure she's happy to be next door to you.
Yeah,
So
she says, I wish I could have a see-through window or just a door connect to see what you're doing. She goes, I
yes.
feel like I want to be a fly on the wall. And I said, she goes, I wish I could just go through the wall to go to your room and whatever. No, I guess if I would give some advice to teachers, I would say not to be reluctant about technology. We have to keep up with the times. We have to find ways to be comfortable with it, because like I said, I felt uncomfortable when I went back to school, to college, and people were using all this terminology that I didn't even know what it was about, and Blackboard and upload and all this kind of stuff. But I just had to embrace it. That's all I had to do. So what I try to do is, like, technology is there. So sometimes if you want to look up something, YouTube, Google it, that's what I would do, and ask teachers around me. There's other teachers that are tech savvy. I remember Mrs. Lopez, the teacher that retired, she was my buddy, and she would say, you just have to get a mouse so you don't have to be using your hand on this thing or whatever. Get a mouse. And she would make me like create things like on PowerPoint or the Google Slides, because I would say, oh, and I can't do it. She goes, yes, you can. Yes, you can. So she would just make me do it. And I felt comfortable. After that, I would feel comfortable. So, find somebody that you feel comfortable with that helps you navigate through things. Always look for people that are going to be there for you, because there's a lot of help out there. We all just have to be open to getting it, and be open to them, to help us with everything, just like we want the kids to be open, we have to be open ourselves, and that's things that I tell the kids when they do things on the computer. Don't be afraid of it. You're the one in charge of the computer, not them. Not the computer's not in charge of you. The computer's not in charge of you. You're in charge of it. And they, okay, miss, I said, you can't mess up. If you mess up, we can always start over, because that's what I learned. I was always afraid to click on buttons because I was afraid I was going to mess up. But I tell my students, part of messing up is learning. You learn by messing up. And if you don't mess up, you don't learn. So it's okay. Don't worry about it, So
I love that. 100%
yes.
agree.
Yeah,
Wow.
just go out there and look for help, ask around. How do you do this? How do you do that? And be willing to learn, be open.
As humans, that's perfect. Like we're community, so we do need to find someone, and
Yes.
we learn together better.
Yes.
Us three, we rely on each other a lot, and
Yeah.
that's exactly how it is. Thank you. I'm like, I don't think everybody anybody had answered that question like that. I'm like, go and tag along with someone like that,
Yes.
how you stated. And
Yes.
everything that you talked to us right now made me feel like I wish I would have been in your class when I was in 3rd grade.
Kindergarten,
or,
1st grade.
or been that student teacher next to you.
Yes.
Like,
and that's one thing I think, like, now my legacy will continue with my student teacher, because she has, I got her, and as I got her as a default, really, because she was supposed to go to middle school. And then they told me one day before I went to a meeting, oh, you're going to have a student teacher. Oh, great. I haven't had a student teacher in like maybe four or five years or whatever. So it was really good. It was a good thing, because I told her, I said, we need positivity in the classroom. I want to keep the education's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. I said, it is what you make it. Yes, there's a lot of work, but there's a lot of work in everything that you do. Wherever you go, it's got to be work. So you have to keep that passion for teaching, and you make the classroom an inviting classroom where you want your kids to come. I said, you got to make it what you make it. I want my classroom, I feel like it's my second home, and I want the kids to feel that also. So I said, no, don't. And she's very good in technology, and I think that's what I liked about her. I learned a lot from her. I can learn from her. Like she did, she introduced the kids to Canva, and I still want to learn more things, and I see Ms. Hernandez, our tech IT person here, also has a meetings and everything. So I try to attend, and I try to see, okay, how can I put that in my classroom, So it's little bits and pieces here and there, like a puzzle, you're putting it all together and see how it works in your classroom. So, yeah.
Yeah, we don't learn it all at once. I mean,
No.
it's little by little, and
Yes.
like we said, growing through other people and their experiences and helping us as well.
Yeah, so that's what it is.
this
You
one
make it
is-
what you can.
This was amazing. Thank you so much for
Thank you, sir.
being
Thank
our
you, everybody.
innovator, being
Yes.
this morning with us bright and early. I
I
will
know,
tell you,
right?
my heart is so happy right now after having this conversation with
Yes.
you.
always come to us. I'm like, you have there Veronica, but you have Debbie, Marco, and myself here. If you want to learn something, we already recorded a bunch of stuff, but we can go one-on-one with you as well.
Okay.
I can go in there and anything you need, I'll be more than happy to show you what I know and learn from you what you know as well.
That'd be awesome. Thank you.
Thank you
Yes.
so much for this morning, and we hope you have
Thank
a
you.
great rest of your week.
Nice meeting you.
Oh, yes. Oh, all right. Thank you. Thank you so much.